What's up everyone, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'll be making a full review for the Romancing Festival Princess Rei banner that brings Princess Rei, a damage dealer, buff breaker, and buffer, human male, defense booster, buffer, and healer. The Neidhart, a damage dealer made for the new Final Island. Now let's go and start straight out on rsrs.xyz website. Princess Rei is the first to give the name to the banner. We have 132% intelligence and 102% agility. This is a good number. Agility could have been higher though, but she has fast skills, no problem. Endurance and will are in 107%. Those values are okay, but she has very good love and charisma as well. She was buffed from JP. She increases everyone's damage by 30% and also reduces damage taken by everyone by 30% too. Now, she casts Defense Boost Medium, decreasing damage taken by 15% for everyone, just for that turn. She also gets 2 extra BP, so at least 5, but much more because she also recovers 1 BP when attacking, also recovers HP, grants herself an attack boost that increases damage potential by 10%, lasts for 2 turns, stacks, and also buffs intelligence by 5% when attacking. This is the same passive as Juji. She would then also cast a defense up for everyone that decreases damage taken by 5%, max of 3 times per battle. So there are enough utilities to decrease damage taken, and that helps. When attacking, she will also follow up with Absorb Plus. Absorb Plus, it is her first skill that has 2 BP cost as a command. The power will recover her HP by around 1.5 thousand or higher, and also self-buffs intelligence by 25% on command and 15% as a chase. So that's her guaranteed chase, does not do much damage, but it helps her keep HP very high. When attacking on overdrive, she will then chase with her skill number 2, that is Dragon Illusion Dance. A row attack with just A power that deals shadow and cold damage, much like the first skill. And then before attacking, she grants all surviving allies an attack boost that increases damage potential by 20% on max level if used as a command, but 15% when used as a chase. When the attack lands, we'll also remove all buffs from an enemy. So, a very good buff break. Hits a row of enemies, was designed for stage 170 on Spiral, but also for future Remembrance battles where the enemies will be aligned in a row. As it is guaranteed as Overdrive, it's also nice, you can save BP. Because Overdrive is part of her mechanic. You have Illusion Dragon Purple Impact. That is a fast row attack, Shadow and Cold again. Can only be used once on the start of the fight, and then applies morale down medium to all enemies. That decreases damage taken by 25%, lasts for 3 turns, do not stack, but it further decreases incoming damage to your party. She would then cast this OG Gouge full for 2 turns. In this turn, she's going to full charge OG, and on the end of the next turn as well. The skill costs 10 BP and has triple S power, so it's actually good enough, even without considering everything, but since it does have 2 different utilities, it is amazing. This skill will also recharge every 3 turns. Because the model down medium lasts for 3 turns, then you can keep that up forever. So, turn 1, you use this skill, then 2 turns of OG, and then on turn 4, you use this one again. You can even wait to use this on turn 4 on OG if you want, and you can also do without, doesn't matter. When she reaches 0 HP, she will recover all surviving allies by 3000. That's right. And on the end of a turn, if she was unconscious, she will just recover her HP by around 3000, unless it's poison damage. Okay, since she has a guaranteed chase, actually, she will recover 7 BP per turn, or 8 BP on overdrive. That is pretty nice. The attack boost does not help too much. Rei does not do much damage unless you have support to increase her damage output. And I'll tell about the supports. First one is Saruin. Saruin will increase damage potential of shadow damage dealers because of his passive that is called Chain of Grudge. And when using shadow attacks, you're going to recover 3 BP. And will also cast a shadow attack boost that increases shadow damage by 45% for the whole squad. Lasts for 2 turns and stacks, so it really helps. But she was also designed to work with 4 News. 4 News' latest style is very useful. I have been using it a lot, and he allows you to also buff 45%, but for cold damage, and self-buff SGR, Endurance, Intelligence, and Will by 5%. Not just that, but you also get extra cold attack damage, and also we recover extra BP, HP, and then cast a defense boost to everyone by 15% damage reduction. So if you have at least one of those characters, they will further increase the potential of Rei. It's not really that she needs them, it just makes it better. But then Rei can also use Inheritance, and the best Inheritance will be 4 damage, especially if you are running with Saruin. And it comes from her latest style that you can also PT for free with a selector. With the use of Mirage Chant, you will then activate Black Cat Plus, Jackal Plus, and Nightmare Plus in that order. And I can even tell you the power of these skills. As you can see, it's B power, then S power, and then double S power. It is strong enough and will do much more damage than any 4S power attack in the game, but it also uses 16 BP. But you're also going to recover another 3 because of her passive, so it's not that terrible if you're running other BP generators and even Saruin. But Princess Rei is more of a buff breaker specialist for Cold Squad, the first one actually capable of doing that. If you are also running other characters like Therese, for example, that can cast many defense boosts to the party and attack multiple times to get even more cold attacks together in Fornews squads, or if you have people like Katarina that also has cold attacks, you can get into a lot of buffs and keep your party alive. Princess Rei will not be your best damage dealer because of limitations, but she can help if you need defense and buff break. Nothing really stellar, but very stable and easy to use. Princess Rei will receive a 4 out of 5. It is easy to skip if you don't want, but will also be very useful with at least Saruin or Fornews. Moving on, after Princess Rei, we have UniverSe. That is now very different. He used it to be a counter tank with 105% endurance and will. Those values are not that high, and just 125% dexterity. That is also not that high, with 100% agility. All status here are pretty much average. He still has SGR because he can inherit sword skills, but it's not really required. Moving on the start of a turn, he will cast a defense boost of medium effect for the squad. This will decrease damage taken by 15%, just for 1 turn, but he keeps casting. On every 3 turns, counting from the start of battle, he will cast a defense boost 3 times. That will decrease damage taken by another, if I'm not mistaken, 30%, lasts for 3 turns. But once you get 3 hits, it breaks. You also recover all surviving allies' HP by at least 1,500. So he can help on Remembrance fights via defense boost and healing. Now, when landing an attack, he will always chases with healing trigger. That is his first skill, that is free, single target, pretty much a normal attack that recovers HP by around 300. Then, he still has a 50% chance to chase with Proton Rocket Plus. That is his second skill. 10 BP cost skill with triple S power that hits a row of enemies with blunt and hit damage, and tries to instant kill with medium chance. He does have 60% intelligence. It will work if you want to use instant kill versus Siegfried, but it's not useful anywhere else. Then we have a 30% increase for blunt damage for everyone in the squad. Alongside, on start of a turn, he will be buffing SGR and dexterity of everyone by 20%, alongside 2 extra BP for a total of 5 BP per turn. His attack damage increases by 40%, and he reduces damage taken by 30% at all times too. So there are defenses and okay passives. Besides, the third skill is called Racing Adventure. It is a 3-hit deep power attack with blunt damage, with each hit casting a defense boost of small effect, decreasing damage taken by 15% or 2 turns in stack. For 10 BP, this is actually pretty nice, and it was changed from JP that was between 2 and 3 hits, so it is essentially better than Fear and Schwartz from Katarina. That was actually a very good character, for different reasons as well. But if you can see, the skill is very similar, and her version has double elemental, while the version of UniverSe has just 1 element at the cost of increasing the number of hits to permanent 3. That is another way to keep you alive on Remembrance battles, since we don't have much support for guns. UniverSe is the leader for damage reduction and can even heal. If you already have Bunny and Mina, you may already have healings, but UniverSe brings much more to the table. He has 5 EP per turn, meaning that he can keep the cycle of Racing Adventure and Healing Trigger. Racing Adventure will cast 3 defense boosts. The total damage reduction is 48% mitigation if you consider all 4 different defense boosts, or up to 68% damage reduction if you manage to cast Racing Adventure 2 times in a row. It's gonna be hard, remember we don't have that much BP support, but on real challenges, if you want to bring UniverSe, it is possible. If you bring people like Hardy, Sheree, Leon, and others, he may eventually cast Racing Adventure 2 times. But with just one cast, you get some value because you still have the extra defense boost, you still have the extra healing, and the extra big heal every 3 turns. So, Racing Adventure plus a very small healing, and then the other turn, 2 very small healing, and then back to Racing Adventure. UniverSe was designed to work like this. He does not need inheritance, but if you do have this word style, you could theoretically use it for counter with Sword Intercept, that he will enter a defensive counter stance and then nullify indirect damage and counter with Blazing Wild Sword. But in the end, he does not need it, and he is one of the few damage reduction specialists for Remembrance, and then you don't want to use anything else. This skill set is good enough. UniverSe is a Remembrance specialist, won't be as used for real hard challenges like, for example, Hawk, that offers much better sustain. And because of that, I will give him a 4 out of 5 as well. If you don't care too much about Remembrance, it's super easy to skip UniverSe. Good, but not really important. The last one will be Neidhart. This guy is a spear user with very high SGR, 140%, the highest one in the game right now, alongside 120% agility. That is very high for a damage dealer as well, alongside 115% endurance and will. Even very good dexterity to not miss his attacks. Neidhart was designed for really fast damage, and if he cannot finish enemies in 6 turns, he's gonna lose a lot of his power. Because look, on the start of battle, he has a BP cost reduction of 6 points that lasts for 6 turns. That means that if a skill costs 12, he's going to use only 6. Now, on the start of a round, he's gonna cast 10 weak attack boosts. That's right, I'm not lying. You can see here. But then, they will start to wear off starting from turn 6. The value of each weak attack boost is 70%. Multiplied by 10, yes, 700% weak attack boost on the start of a fight, and then on turn 6 you're gonna lose 140%, then 280%, and so on. So you lose it all on turn 10. But in 6 turns, Neidhart is gonna do insane amounts of damage because of those passives. Besides, he still has a 40% damage increase at all times to actually reach 740% damage increase, and reduces damage taken at all times by 30%. Also, on start of a turn, he gets 5 BP, and that can trigger 3 times per battle. That is something to allow him to keep using his best skill. That one is the third one, called Legion Spear. It is a column attack with pierce and blunt damage that hits 3 times with D power. And each new attack will be buffing SGR by 25% as well. SGR buffs when a character has many damage potential, it increases damage by even more. So, you don't even need to care about the other skills. Neidhart is all about Legion Spear. I have seen the full potential of the first hit to reach around 700,000 damage. The second one and the third one would do even more because of their stacked SGR buffs. So he easily passes 2 million damage with the use of Legion Spear. And you can keep using this many times in a row. Because of his passive that decreases BP cost by 6, yes, he can have as much as 40 BP in 6 turns, and he's only going to spend 36. So, Legion Spear doing at least 2 million damage, it's very useful. And in some fights where the enemies allow you to buff and they don't have too much HP, you can use this skill as much as you want. And you don't even need to care about it being a column attack. You can use it just simply as a single target one if you want, because 3 hits of deep power is stronger than many 4S power attacks. The problem is that Neidhart doesn't have any chains. He compensates that by having a lot of attack boosts. But Neidhart was also designed for the new Final Island that will have enemies with tons of HP, and the last number of actions you use Neidhart will help you get higher scores. Nothing really stellar, and you can use other characters as well. Even if you don't have high score, you're gonna get rewards. Neidhart does not need any type of inheritance. You could theoretically use Gallantry if you are running Neidhart for hard challenges and even for Remembrance, because it gives you a 10% defense up, but you are also spending 1 turn, and that is not really great, unless you cast this on turn 7 after Neidhart lost most of his potential. All the other skills are just weak compared to what he can do, so unless you need to heal yourself, like Swooping Dragon could be useful, and you could also just bring this other skill, Advancing Wave, but more also on turn 7 and beyond. This will cast a morale up very large, 4 BP, and will cast morale down on the enemy, so that even if he is losing some of his damage potential, he's still providing something to the party. But most people will not use him for hard challenges anyway, unless they don't have any other option. Neidhart is simple, just damage and fast damage. Really easy to skip, and a 3 out of 5. Now, is this banner worth summoning for? In my opinion, not really. I will only give it a plain silver award, but it's because of Princess Rei and Human Mail. I believe that if you have Saruin in for news, you can find more utility on Princess Rei. And if you care about Gun Remembrance, Human Mail will help you a lot. But if you don't, then the banner value decreases by quite a lot. Neidhart just works for one type of challenge and also for new players, but once we get harder challenges, he just doesn't work. So, easy to skip if you don't know what to do with your gens, and if you want to wait 1 week to see what's coming. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Please see here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you soon in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.